Very good morning, dear students. Today we will continue the next topic of the fluid mechanics, that is types of fluids. During these classes, we have discussed various properties of the fluids and problems related to the various properties of the fluids. The next topic is types of fluids. So we have the following types of the fluids. One is real fluid, and another one is Newtonian fluid, third one non-Newtonian fluid, fourth one ideal plastic fluid. So what is ideal fluid? First, the fluid which cannot be compressed and have no viscosity is called as ideal fluid. So if any fluid is not having any of the viscosity, then it is called as the ideal fluid. So such type of fluid is not possible in reality, and also this cannot be compressed. Second one, real fluid. It is a fluid which has at least some viscosity, and actually all the fluids existing on the earth are called as real fluids. Third one, Newtonian fluid. A real fluid which obeys Newton's law of viscosity, tau is equal to mu into du by dy, is called as Newton's law of viscosity. So any fluid which obeys this law is called as Newton's law of viscosity. Any fluid which obeys this Newton's law of viscosity is called as Newtonian fluid. Non-Newtonian fluid. A real fluid which does not obey Newton's law of viscosity is called as non-Newtonian fluid. Means any fluid which do not obey tau is equal to mu into du by dy is called as non-Newtonian fluid. Ideal plastic fluid. A fluid having the value of shear stress more than the yield value of shear stress and is proportional to the shear strain or velocity gradient is known as ideal plastic fluid. So these are the 5 types of the fluid which we have classified. Next one, fluid pressure at a point. So it is the definition of the pressure. Pressure is known as force by area in general, where you can, to prove this one, you can consider a small area dA in a large mass of fluid, and on this area, small area dA, the force dF acting perpendicular to it. Therefore this force by area dF by dA is pressure. So integrating this one, we will get pressure is equal to force by area, or force is equal to pressure into area. The units of pressure are kg force per meter square in MKS unit, Newton per meter square in SI unit, and also known as Pascal. Newton per meter square is also known as Pascal. Pascal is Newton per meter square. Generally 1 kilopascal is 1000 Newton per meter square, and 1 bar is 100 kilopascal, that is 10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square. This is the definition of pressure. Next is very important law, that is called as Pascal's law. It states that intensity of pressure at a point in a static fluid is equal in all the direction. For example, consider a static fluid. In that static fluid, consider a point, and pressure intensity at that point is same in all the directions. This is what the Pascal's law. To prove this one, consider a wedge shaped element with the dimensions dx, dy, dz, ds as shown in the figure. Dx is the distance between AC, dy is the distance between AB, and ds is the distance between BC. Now theta is the angle made by the lines AB and BC. Here the forces acting on the element are considered as pressure forces on each of the faces AB, AC and BC, which are perpendicular to these faces, and weight of the element in the vertical direction. So what is the self weight of the element? So there are 3 pressure forces and 1 self weight of the element. Now the force on the face AB is derived as follows. Force on the face AB is nothing but pressure Px, that is pressure in the direction of x perpendicular to AB, multiplied by area of a face of AB. So here unit thickness is considered for the wedge shaped element, therefore area will become dy into 1. Similarly, force on the face AC is Py into dx into 1, and force on the face BC is Pz into ds into 1. Weight of the element is equal to mass of the element into acceleration due to gravity. Therefore, mass of the element is nothing but volume into density. Volume is meter cube, density is kg per meter cube. Both will cancel, meter cube, remaining will be the kg. Kg into acceleration due to gravity will become Newton. Therefore, volume into rho into g, which is equal to, volume is nothing but it is a area of the triangle multiplied by unit thickness, that is AB into AC divided by 2, area of the triangle, into 1 thickness, that will become volume, into rho, that will become multiplying with the density will become kg, that is mass. Mass multiplied by acceleration due to gravity will become Newton, that is weight. Now resolving forces in x direction, that is Px into dy into 1 minus Ps into dy into 1 into sine 90 minus theta. So thus here you can see that ds is acting perpendicular to BC, so that component, the component of the pressure in a horizontal direction will become Ps, P into ds into sine 90 minus theta. Resolving this one and considering ds cos theta as AB, which is equal to dy, we will get Px is equal to Pz. Similarly, resolving the forces in a vertical direction or y direction, we will get Py is equal to Pz. Okay, here ds sin theta is considered as a dx. Okay, and also the element is very small and hence weight is negligible. From these two equations, that is resolving the force in x direction, we got Px is equal to Pz, and resolving the force in y direction, we got Py is equal to Pz. Therefore, equating these two, we will get Px is equal to Py is equal to Pz. So this is called as the pressure intensity in a static fluid at a point is equal in all the directions. This is known as Pascal's law. Next one is pressure variation in a fluid at rest. Now you see that we have considered a static fluid, in that the element ABCD. Okay, you can see the figure here. Delta A will be the cross sectional area of the element, delta Z will be the height of the element, P is the pressure on the face AB, and Z is the distance of the fluid element from the free surface. So Z is the depth of the free surface or the surface AB and the free surface distance. Now pressure force on the AB is P into delta A, CD is P plus dou P by dou Z into delta Z into delta A, acting perpendicular to the CD. So pressure force on the AB acts perpendicular to it, and also CD acts perpendicular to it. Weight of the fluid element is rho into G into dA into dz. Rho G is nothing but mass, dA into dz is nothing but volume, okay, into 1 unit thickness, and that will become weight of the fluid element in Newton. Resolving all these forces, okay, pressure forces on surface BC and AD are equal and opposite, so the vertical faces are pressure forces on the vertical face BC and AD are cancels, but the other faces when we consider, then P into delta A minus P plus dou P by dou Z into delta Z into dA plus self weight of the element rho G into delta A into delta Z is equal to 0. Resolving this one, we will get dou P by dou Z is equal to rho into G, that is equal to W. So this is known as hydrostatic law. So the above equation dou P by dou Z is equal to rho into G into W. So it is nothing but it is the rate of increase of pressure in a vertical direction which is equal to the weight density of the fluid at that point. Okay. So now you see that it is nothing but dou P by dou Z is equal to rho G is nothing but increase in the pressure in a vertical direction, because dou P is change in the pressure. Change in the pressure is nothing but it is increase in the pressure in the vertical direction. So Z represents the depth, therefore change in the depth represented by delta Z, that is increase in the depth. Therefore dou P by dou Z is increase in the pressure in a vertical direction, which is equal to what? Weight density of the fluid at that point. So this is called as hydrostatic law. By integrating the above equation, we will get dP is equal to rho G dz, or P is equal to rho G Z, and again rearranging Z is equal to P by rho G. So this is called as pressure head. So Z is equal to P by rho G. So Z is nothing but pressure head, P is pressure, rho is density, G is acceleration due to gravity. So next topic is types of pressures. So first one is absolute pressure. Absolute pressure is nothing but it is defined as the pressure which is measured with reference to absolute zero vacuum. Absolute vacuum. So when there is a vacuum, from that point, if you take it as a reference and measure the pressure, whatever the value you will get, that is called as absolute pressure. Second one, gauge pressure. Gauge pressure is nothing but it is defined as a pressure which is measured with the help of pressure measuring instrument. So all the instruments or devices what we use that measures a pressure, that is called as gauge pressure, and this gauge pressure is measured from the reference of atmospheric pressure as zero pressure. In the gauge pressure, the atmospheric pressure is marked as 0. Third one, vacuum pressure. Vacuum pressure is nothing but it is defined as the pressure below the atmospheric pressure. So this is negative pressure. This figure indicates the various types of pressure. Pressure at point A, from the atmospheric pressure when you measure, it is a gauge pressure. From the absolute zero pressure when you measure, it will become absolute pressure. Again, pressure at point B, which is having lesser pressure than the atmospheric pressure, if you measure from the absolute zero pressure, then it will become absolute pressure. If you measure from the atmospheric pressure, then it will become vacuum pressure. Therefore, absolute pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure plus gauge pressure if it is above the atmospheric pressure. Otherwise, absolute pressure is nothing but it is atmospheric pressure minus of vacuum pressure will be the value. Second one, vacuum pressure is nothing but atmospheric pressure minus absolute pressure. Note that the atmospheric pressure at sea level at 15 degrees Celsius is 101.3 kilonewton per meter square or 10.13 Newton per centimeter square in SI unit. In case of MKS unit, it is equal to 1.033 kg force per centimeter square. The atmospheric pressure head is 760 mm of mercury or 10.33 meter of water. So with this various pressures, Pascal's law, pressure at a point, we have studied. So in the next class, we will continue with the different devices used for the measurement of the pressure. They are manometers and mechanical gauges. So that we will do in the next class. Thank you.